Well, welcome to the amateur half of the presentation. See, I made her laugh. When I suggested that we do a rebound section for this morning to my committee, I had really hoped that somebody was going to jump up and go, I'll do that, I'll do that. Oh, well, you got me, sorry. But I was able to recruit some helpers from my district. Kirk is doing my tech for me. He got the Menti questions ready for us, which is wonderful. And our district rebound coordinator, up in the corner of the screen there, Nathanya Field, is going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation for us after we do these few questions. So, are we ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do some questions. Oh, before we start, I need just one person from your district to answer these questions. So, district chairs, it's either you or somebody who's a lot more tech savvy than you that you pick right now. So one person from your district, because I only want 20 answers. There's more than 20 answers. It's like, what? Are we ready?
Ready when you are.
Okay, so do they have a new? Okay.
Nope, same code as before.
It's the same code as before. You should still be there. So, does your district have what you consider an active rebound Rotex program? It's a yes or no. You have two options. And hopefully we get 20 answers. Oh, shoot, I got to do math.
Here's the bottom right is your number, your total.
Oh, it's good. Thank God. I can't do public speaking and math at the same time. Oh, crash and burn. There's only 14. That's a few short of 20.
We're almost there.
Oh,
17.
there we go. 17. 19. 20. No, 19. It's not bubble go.
You know,
all right, 20. Yay. So 7 have active rebound or Rotex programs. That's fabulous. I was scared there would be fewer than that. Okay, we're going to move on to our next question. This is more for the people who answered yes, but if you didn't answer no, you can still how important is this program to your district? From a not important to a very important. Well, somebody says it's very important. Awesome. Okay. Yes, Bill?
Are you asking the opinion of the person answering the question, or are you asking the opinion of the district of how important it is to the district?
The district, not just your personal opinion, Bill.
Good question. Good clarifier.
We've had conversations before, Bill. That's try and be appropriate, Bill. Come on. Right. We're talking about the rebound Rotex. Is that important to your district?
Do you want to clarify that to everyone? I can reset it if people voted on it.
I'm going to reset that so we all know. It's how important to your district is the Rebound Rotex program. So Kirk's going to go back to the beginning. We do that again. Do you think this is important to your district? Does your district feel this is important?
Sorry, let me jump back.
For Bill. This is so much easier now that I've been around for so many years that I know half the people in this room. It's still public speaking, and I'm like, oh, God, it's like acting without a script.
You are.
All right. So, not a lot are really very important, but we're up there. We're above halfway. Good. All right. Let's go on to our next question. Do you involve your rebounds in your outbound student programming? Obviously, if you don't have a program, then you don't need. So do your rebounds help with your outbound program, your outbound student training program? I can speak English good.
Not as good as our inbounds, but.
Thanks, buddy. Give me those cookies. That's fabulous. Good. Awesome. Okay, let's move on.
There's this last one.
Sorry?
About the summer conference, whether they invite.
Oh, we got the summer conference. Okay, that's not on my screen. That's all right. Do you invite your Rotex to the summer conference in Grand Rapids?
And here we're talking about Rotex, not rebounds.
Not rebounds, just your Rotex. Do you invite your Rotex? Those are rebounds with maturity in quotation marks. Okay. Yeah, or it's only at 17, so.
It's called a typo. It's a mistake.
That's a typo?
So to the one person who voted for that one, we need to chat. Oh, there's always.
That was Bill. Others too. Okay. Bill didn't want to feel alone, so he answered twice.
All right.
Okay, great. That comes up later, don't worry. Moving along, all right. Do you struggle to recruit outbound candidates? Not at all? Or is it a big struggle? Do they come running to you or do you have to chase them down?
The lasso.
The other one uses a lasso? Lasso? Lasso. Sorry. I could pronounce that yesterday when I didn't have a microphone in my hand. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle for most of us. They don't just come charging through the woods. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Last one.
Last question. Do you struggle to recruit district Rotary Youth Exchange committee members? Was it hard to get all these people to come to this room? Or did they say, yes, pick me, pick me? No, just, sorry. But that's, yeah. I hold that one in reserve. Hey, would you like to be on the district committee? Good. You have to come to Chicago in the middle of winter. Sorry, you signed up.
Right? Like, welcome everyone.
It took 8 hours for us to get here. Poor Megan had to dig herself out before she could come here.
All right, 21.
All right, we're good. Thank you. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. So I sort of introduced Nathanya before. This is Nathanya Field. She is the District 6330 Rebound Coordinator. She's also a exchange alumni. Nathanya went to Dijon, France in 2011, 2012, and she's my daughter. So, so it was really tough to recruit her. Anyway, she created this PowerPoint and said, here, Dad, take this to Grand Rapids. And I said, you're so much better at this. How about you do it? So here she is. Take it away, Nathanya.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nathanya. I'm our District 6330 Rebound Coordinator. For funsies, we like to call me the Rebound Wrangler. Also, Kirk, if for whatever reason you can't hear me or anything, please just let me know.
Yeah, we can hear you fine right now. You're good.
Okay. I am a Youth Exchange alumni, as my dad said. I served for many years as a Rotex. I'm now in the Goderich Rotaract Club. You may recognize me. I am Ross and Roseanne's daughter, but I'm not Aiden. So I did make this slideshow with my dad. I did kind of anticipate he would present. So sometimes I refer to myself in the third person, but it's great. So this is my presentation, Future Rotarians, the Case for a Strong Rebound Program. I want you to think about some of those Menti questions that we asked you just before, because I'm not saying a strong rebound program is going to solve all of your problems, but I think it may solve some of your problems. So I've kind of got 3 arguments today about why you should develop a strong rebound program, or if you already have one, why you should continue to prioritize and support that program. I'm going to talk a little today about how you can do that, but a lot of the focus today is on why you should prioritize this programming when you obviously have so many other things happening in your district and in the program. I may touch on some things that you're already doing, which is fantastic, but I hope I can also give everyone something to walk away thinking about. So my 3 big arguments for you today are supporting the well-being of our kids, Rebound supporting and strengthening our training and the program at large, and they are the future of Rotary and the Rotary Youth Exchange program. So supporting the mental well-being of our kids and why it's really important that we have this programming for them. It is our responsibility as the engineers of this program to support our kids the whole way through. We already know the impact of reverse culture shock. We know the difficulties kids face readjusting on their return in their families, their schools, with their friends. And that's just for kids who had really good exchanges. For the kids where things went wrong, where they maybe weren't safe, it's even more important that we support them on their return. And I want to take a moment and highlight kind of my last 2 points there. Not every exchange goes perfectly. We all have stories of good kids who have bad things happen to them, of good kids who make mistakes, but we also have stories of bad kids who come home early. And I want to talk a little bit of the idea of bad kids. Kids who return home because of decisions that they made. Sometimes they have broken the Ds, or maybe they get in fights with their host families, or they stop going to school. Whatever the reason is, they get sent home early. And I think we really need to remember that this is someone's kid. Like, this is someone's child. A parent trusted us with their kid and it didn't work out. Parents are probably just as upset as we are. And that kid is going through just as much as their compatriots when it comes to the rebound year. I think sometimes we have this tendency to step back from these kids that we consider bad kids. We think that, oh, they made these mistakes. It's their fault that their exchange failed. And it can be especially frustrating if you spent a lot of time and resources and energy trying to help them and trying to make the exchange work out just for it to all fall apart. So I can understand why after that point you might want to take a step back, but I want us to like fight that instinct to step back, because maybe this kid isn't the best candidate to assist with outbound training. Maybe they're not the best candidate to go to a club and make a speech, but they're still our responsibility. It is still our responsibility to give that kid the same tools that we are giving everybody else to cope with their rebound year. We sent them out into the world and we have to take care of them. So how do we do that? With rebound specific programming. So Grand Rapids obviously is an incredible conference, and the work that Drs. Field and Dr. White do with our rebounds is so incredibly vital. But it is often also really close to a rebounds exchange, like a return from exchange. Some of them have been home for a month. Some of them have been home for a couple of weeks. Some of them have been home for less than 24 hours. So they're all still in that like honeymoon phase, and they're not experiencing reverse culture shock or other stressors that come with their rebound year. So as much as that programming is super vital, sometimes it doesn't like actually get into their brains as much as we want it to. So in 6330, we have programming specifically for our rebounds to help them tackle their return year, and it's separate from Grand Rapids. So our first big one is our Welcome Home Conference. We call it our Welcome Home Conference because it is a combination inbound and rebound conference. It's in September. So for our inbounds, it's their very first conference. The inbound coordinators are doing lots of logistical stuff and all of that kind of prep for the year. And for the rebounds, for them, they'll have just started back at school. Most of them are out of their honeymoon phase. They're ready to talk about their exchange, all the ups and the downs. So our programming for this conference includes deeper discussions on reverse culture shock, adjusting to coming home and navigating relationships with their parents, families, and friends, resilience, and their next steps as rebounds. I also do what I call like story sharing time, where rebounds have the chance to share the good, the bad, and the ugly of their exchange. And it's a time for them to vent and connect with each other. And it's really great because sometimes rebounds, they're the only other people who they feel like understand what they've all just gone through. And so having this space that's like a safe space where they know they're not going to get like in trouble or reported on or whatever, it's really good for them to have that opportunity to talk to each other. And for me, I can also flag kids who might need extra help in this year, who maybe they had something happen to them on exchange that they didn't share with anybody while it was happening, or maybe it was something like little that they were like, oh, I didn't until right now realize that actually was really like, ooh, I don't know what to do about this. And they might need a little extra support in their rebound year. And so having this venting session is really great for that too. And also I can listen to their stories and consider that might need to change in our outbound training without, of course, breaking any of the privacy I've established with them. And if you want any more like super concrete information on these sessions, I'm more than happy to share my training notes. They are developed with Roseanne, so they have a basis. I didn't just like make these things up. And then during outbound training conferences in District 6330, we have 2 in-person outbound conferences in the spring. We bring our rebounds to those, and I often will do check-ins with them. Those conferences are more outbound focused, and they're helping a lot with the training. But I do try to make sure that we eke out time to talk one-on-one with the rebounds. And if I really need to, I can also do some more structured sessions. And then moving on to my next argument about why we should have a strong rebound program. Rebounds themselves strengthen our program. I mentioned in my last slide that I would report to the committee to make improvements on our programming. And I don't mean that I'm going to like take a student's story and use it as a case study, because I would of course be breaking confidence, but it's more about how can we as a committee examine where a student's year went wrong and what could have been done in this situation to either salvage it or at least avoid it all entirely. So those recommendations that can then be worked into our existing training model. It could be something like having a little more dedicated time on how to access their health insurance. It could be a little bit more emphasis on who do they report to in the chain of command. It could be a little bit more emphasis on not talking to your parents back home. That comes up. Go to Rotary. So that kind of thing can be integrated after we kind of work through what these rebounds have happened, like what has gone on with them. The next thing we bring them to, they can assist with our interview conferences. We have students participate in a country fair, which is like a science fair, but for countries. So our inbounds will set up presentations like a science fair, and some of the rebounds will do it as well, or they'll just help out the inbounds. And it helps our potential outbounds kind of pick make choices about their countries. It's really great. But we also have the rebounds sit in on interviews so that they can be on an interview team in the future. We really love to have a past student on our interview panels because it makes the potential outbound feel a lot more comfortable. So being able to take our rebounds and have them just sit in and watch an interview really prepares them for, next year or a couple of years down the road. We also have our Rebounds assist with outbound training, which I saw a lot of you said yes to that as well, that you have your Rebounds assist with that training. If you don't, some of the ways that they can assist with that training is sitting in on sessions. So those are sessions that are being facilitated by people like Kirk or Suzanne or myself, which is training for the outbounds. But it's great to have Rebounds sit in on it because you can call on them to offer concrete examples. So instead of just discussing all these theoreticals, a rebound can say, yeah, this is what happened on my exchange, and this is how I used the things that Roseanne taught me. Of course, it's really important to brief the rebounds on the expectations of these sessions, to only speak when called upon, to keep their comments on topic and to the point, and to do their best not to scare the students, which is another reason that we have story time, is because sometimes there are stories that are not appropriate for in front of outbounds, but we shouldn't expect our rebounds to just never talk about it. So having story time allows them to release that. And also having story time, I can be like, this person should not be involved in XYZ training session because they might overshare by accident. So that's a really great reason to have an rebound coordinator who knows your students. So also the outbounds getting to know the rebounds can give them more confidence with the program because they see the success of the rebounds. And they also can give them another person to reach out to for help. So this brings us to language acquisition. Our rebounds help us with checking outbound homework for language acquisition, but they also can be a really great resource for any of the kids struggling with language because they can connect outside of the conferences. Rebounds also can share an outsider perspective on the culture of their host country, where at inbounds, they can sometimes struggle to articulate something that seems innate to them, whereas a rebound who experienced it from the outside can maybe give it a little bit more context. I'll say, of course, not all rebounds are suited to participate in this programming, which is why having a rebound coordinator like me, who's involved with them from the beginning of their journey to the end, can be really incredible asset, because you can determine those best candidates who will actually follow that briefing. So moving on to my next argument for you, the future of Rotary and Rotary Youth Exchange. Everyone in this room obviously believes in the power of youth exchange because we dedicate so much time to it. As Ross said, many of you dug yourselves out of snow to drive to Chicago. I'm sure some of you drove even longer than 8 hours. We all believe in the power of youth exchange, and the rebound year is essential in tapping into this power so that we can grow it. These kids have gone through a really transformative year. And if we don't engage with that transformation, then what is the point? What's the point of sending them off into the world to learn and grow and embrace a foreign culture if we don't engage with them on their return? When you engage with your rebounds, when you support them through their journey, you encourage them to remain active with the program. An active rebound program reminds these kids that we care, that we we want them to succeed and that they're important to us. If we just abandon them on their return, what are we telling them? And what kind of an ambassador are they going to be? When we engage with them, even when they maybe didn't have the best exchange year, maybe when we thought they were one of the bad kids, we show them how much we believe in youth exchange and we grow that belief in them. And that's how we make good ambassadors that go out and promote our program. They recruit potential outbounds. They recruit host families. They shepherd inbounds under their wings. A strong rebound program is the future of Rotary. A supported rebound student joins Rotex and continues to serve the program. They may join an Interact or a Rotaract club. They join Rotary clubs and they become committee members. The 6330 Youth Exchange Committee includes, I believe, at last count, 7 Youth Exchange alumni. These committee members are, of course, essential to the Youth Exchange program, but they are also active members in their clubs and communities. A strong rebound program is essential to the future of Rotary Youth Exchange and to Rotary at large. I want to leave you with one final thought before we get to a bit of a roundtable discussion. We all believe that Rotary Youth Exchange is a peace project. We believe that kids who go on Youth Exchange will go on to promote peace. As I had said, these kids have gone through a transformative experience. Without continued support and engagement, that experience may become an entirely personal transformation. But when we keep these kids engaged, that transformation affects families, communities, and the waves of peace ripple out. These kids are our future, whether they remain with Rotary or not. But wouldn't it be better if they did? So that's the end of my kind of argument for you. Oh, there's clapping. Ah!
Hey, kind of win. Right. Thank
So
you.
we're going to move on to a roundtable discussion. For those of you who already have strong rebound programs, what are your top tips? Kind of think also, do you structure your rebound program for your rebounds, or is your rebound program in service of your outbounds? Because you can have both, but sometimes we kind of lean towards the second. District 6330 for sure, a lot of our rebound programming was more about supporting outbounds, and we've kind of leaned toward a model of having both. For those of you without strong programs, what are your questions? Also think about like what roadblocks have stopped you from having a strong program and how can other districts help and advise? And I'm going to give it back to my dad now.
Don't go anywhere though. So, okay, hold that for 1 second. Unless you really need to go to the bathroom, but that's okay. My cough drop ran out. This is going to sound funny. So I'm going to use Ellen here as a willing participant in this part. And if I could get 1 or 2 people from those who said they have a strong rebound program to come on up front here with me to answer people's questions and give tips. So who, come on, you guys, don't pretend you're shy. Come on. Come on up here if you've got a good rebound program.
6330.
Well, not all 6330. Come on. Just 1 from 6330.
Microphone, I'm loud.
Okay.
No, you sit down.
Otherwise, it's too quiet for them.
Okay. Is there anybody from another program who wants to volunteer? Okay.
Peggy's
Well,
coming.
Ellen's here.
Peggy's
Okay.
coming up.
We're going to start with Ellen then. Ellen, what
Peggy's
are
coming.
your number 1 tips for a strong rebound program?
I'm gonna make us think very differently, like Peggy does.
I think one of the things that we've realized since post-COVID, got into the post-COVID period, is that the outbounds do absolutely need to come, the rebounds need to come to the first conference so that we can help them walk through their process of the rebound year and attend to their mental health and foster the ability to process what they've just been through. We encourage, invite, and subsidize their attendance at this, actually all of our conferences, including Grand Rapids. But we also have a rebound retreat that they do in the late summer after they return.
Peggy, how about you go next?
In our district, we don't necessarily have a specific rebound, like we don't have a rebound coordinator and a rebound program, but we utilize our rebound in ways that aren't necessarily very apparent. And the one thing that I wanted to bring up to make people think very differently is don't limit your thinking of who your rebounds are to only your returned outbounds. Rebounds are also your inbounds who have returned home. And I have utilized a lot last year's or 2 years ago inbounds to work with my current inbounds. And with technology now, I call on last year's inbounds to talk to the inbounds that I have. So pre-arrival, I'll have previous inbounds talk to the incoming inbounds. And in the upcoming April conference that we have, I will have we have technology to use. So in April, when I'm talking to my current inbounds about how to gracefully transition to the end of their exchange and return home, I'll have previous inbounds call from all over the world to talk to the current inbounds about how to do that. So don't limit your thinking to rebounds or rotex being only the previous outbounds in your district. They're also your previous inbounds.
Cool.
So if your inbound coordinator isn't attending Peggy's monthly inbound coordinator meetings, you're really missing out, because that is an amazing opportunity to really grow and learn. So Suzanne.
So I'm District 6330 as well, so this is kind of our program to begin with. But seeing firsthand the importance of having that September rebound session was huge when COVID hit. That my son went to Finland, was in Finland during COVID. We weren't able to have that rebound session when he got home, and the fallout from that year that we had a really tough time bringing those rebounds back in, and they had a tough time reclimatizing back to Canadian life. Was huge. Seeing it firsthand as a mom was enormous. So it was really helpful to have that session in September was huge. Also thinking rebounds, we also need to think of parents as well, as rebound parents. At 6330, we use our rebound parents in our next in-person conference. Actually, the parents come and chat with our outbound parents to give them that firsthand experience. And if they gain a wealth of knowledge, just experiencing from a parent's point of view, as well as our inbounds and our rebounds from that. So using that whole side of things.
We may have stolen that idea from the Central States Conference, but that's what we do in Rotary. We steal good ideas. So
We share them.
share good ideas. With moral again, generous. So does anybody have any questions for these folks or for Nathanya? Beth, speak out loud.
So I'm gonna say we have a decent rebound.
They're getting the mic to her, Nathanya.
So I think we have a decent rebound Rotex program, but we have a ways to go. And one of our challenges, we've been wanting to have this rebound retreat for several years now. And what I'm curious, if numbers seem challenging for us. So like if we only have 2 to 4 rebounds, having a conference with those 2 or 3 people, and then, by the way, finding a date that works for them, because several of them are going off to college or whatever. These are our challenges so we've yet to have the conference that we want to have, or the retreat, or whatever you call it. I love this coming home conference concept, and rebound retreat. But I'm just wondering if you guys have much larger numbers and that's why it's successful, or how do you overcome that? When do you have it? There is no perfect solution.
Start.
There's no
Just start.
Yeah, I will say in 6330, when it was actually like a push from Ross and Roseanne, my parents, to have more rebound focused programming. And the first thing they tried was a rebound specific retreat in like end of August. And they did come across those problems of like numbers. And also, even though we had like between 10 and 13 rebounds, so many of them were working in the summer that it was really difficult to get them together in August. Our solution, which works best for us and may not work best for others, is combining that first inbound conference, where it's like we already are spending the resources and booking a venue, et cetera, for this inbound conference that is well established. adding rebounds to it isn't a huge deal. And if I can get like all 10 or 13 rebounds, that's amazing. But if I can only get like 4 or 5, that's at least 4 or 5 who are getting the programming. It really varies year to year how many we can get out to that first conference.
Something else is really important with us too. We emphasize the date way in advance so that our outbounds actually know when it is, even though it's still a year and a bit away, is a big part of it, and really emphasizing the importance of them actually being there for it is huge.
Have you found a way to integrate the students who can't attend that conference? So the ones who've gone away to college or have other commitments, can't make it work, can't get there for the weekend? Because that's been a big stumbling block for us.
That's the tough part too. We run into the exact same thing, that it is like their first week of college, university.
And we're at a
so
camp with no Wi-Fi or
yeah, a camp that we were at has no Wi-Fi, very little, which is honestly amazing, let me just say, for those inbounds. So it is really tough. So it's associating them to other things too, that we're doing, like our training, that we associate them for online training, that they really bring, like we did one this past week, that we did language training with our rebound. So it's really associating, bringing them back into it and keeping them heavily involved and in the loop of everything. Like Nat does a really great job of keeping them involved in things through different emails, and just keeping them involved in the program is huge. So that constant communication, I would say.
So District 6220, it does a very similar things with 6330. We are offering Zoom meetings for the rebounds, but that's kind of a difficult spot for people to really open up. And so, you know, we're talking about maybe having like a point person, if not the rebound coordinator, or maybe me and the rebound coordinator, or other Rotex. We have a Rotex group associated with our district to do check-ins with them on a fairly regular basis. Our district also managed to get a satellite club put together for all of the people who volunteer in our program and weren't members of Rotary because of moving away from the district. Many of them are, you know, outside of District 6220, but they are regular members of our group and put in a lot of hours to help our program work. And so now we invite those students to join the virtual meetings for this club. And a lot of the people there, you know, I have a question here, or a statement from Chris, right? Is this you that came up?
No, it's Doug.
Okay, Doug. Okay, hi, Doug. No, I wasn't, I didn't actually look at you, so I just got the note. Anyway, I was thinking. So, Doug, thank you. So, his statement is, coordinate central states-wide database of rebounds so that we can track and take care of rebounds who move to a different district. And that's to my point that I just brought up.
I was just gonna add one thing to your dilemma, Beth. Any new thing is change, and change has to become part of a culture before it's the norm. How many of you call this the Central States Winter Board Meeting? How many of you call it Schaumburg? That's a culture piece, right? And someone new comes in and they're like, yeah, we're going to Schaumburg. And there's this new person going, what the hell is Schaumburg? Like, what's Grand Rapids, right? You're part of the culture. You're in on it, right? And if you want the rebound thing, the retreat, to be part of the culture, you got to get started. Because what you want is that your current rebounds, say to next year's outbounds, you're going to go to this amazing conference in September. You have to go. It's amazing. And that will do way more for you than any you can do. Please be there. It's really important. So you got to start it now to get that reinforcement, to make it part of your culture, even with 1 or 2 kids. And then in 3 years, they're going to do the work for you of being like, oh, of course you go to the rebound retreat. Like, what, are you crazy? That's what you do here. But it has to be a repetition piece involved to make it a kind of cultural piece of your district.
I'm gonna, sorry, well, okay. He talked, there's coffee and sugary things over there. Help yourself. We're gonna keep going, but we will take a break. I'm just gonna give.
I want coffee.
How many call your program a 3-year program and
Yes.
include rebound? If that's something we've been talking about doing anything.
Okay, I'm coming, Chris.
I have the microphone, so I'll start. You can still give him the microphone. All right.
Too awesome to microphone. Are you nuts?
We're in trouble now. All right, so,
just an idea that popped up as this question arose. And believe it or not.
See if I can turn
there
you
are many
around.
people in here more techie than me, even though I'm young. Is there a way that we can have some kind of platform? I know there's like the Rotary Club Finder and stuff, but is there a way as we, as Central States could have like, when we know a student is going off to college and it's outside of our district, say, hey, I have a student going over to, you know, whatever college outside the district. Is there a way that we can connect them with the Rotaract Club and say, I have a student coming over. I don't know who's there. I don't remember who's in that district, but we can connect them with them. It's like Alita and I were just talking. We have a lot of students coming into Chicago schools and we don't know that they're there. And they're looking for Rotary, but they don't know how to find it. Right. Is this a possibility? Has this already been invented and we don't know? Okay, you see, so I think this would be a great resource in growing Rotary.
A question on that.
Wait till you have the mic, Margie.
My question is, now that Rotaract clubs are part of Rotary, and somebody that's higher up than that, aren't Rotaract clubs listed with RI?
Yes,
So they could be part of that locator?
yes, they are. They are.
So,
But
what,
they're just, they can be just as unresponsible as regular clubs. Never get a response, you know, from the Rotaract.
Get a microphone first before you talk, please. Matt can't hear you and these people can't hear you, so don't talk without a mic.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they can be just as unresponsive as the clubs are, and the information isn't always up to date. So I think, I guess what Hannah is thinking is that we'll probably be more responsive to, oh, there's a kid coming, you know, that's been in youth exchange, and so, you know, they have that connection with us a little bit deeper than just, so our club runs a high school internship program, and so when my kids go off to their colleges, I go, where you going? Let me connect you with the Rotaract in that area. And they never answer, you know, so, I mean, they're there, but, you know.
No, Mike, Chris Olson has the mic.
As I look at our matrix, the vast majority of our clubs have 1, 2, or 3 students. And there's a lot of economy of scale with what 6330 is doing. And if you only have 1, 2, or 3 students going outbound or as rebounds, you maybe only have 1 or 2 people on your committee. And you're trying to keep David Hood as happy as you possibly can. So as a district chair, that's your primary focus, even though you realize, I don't think a single person in here would say, I don't want a rebound program at all. We all want it, but it's the economy of scale to a certain extent. And so the question is then, which we don't necessarily answer or have the answer for, what do you do when you have, along Beth's line, when you have 1 or 2 students as your rebounds, you have 2 committee members focusing their life and death on trying to get the outbounds out and the inbounds in, let alone deal with 1 or 2 people that are going to suck a lot of your time. And that's kind of the reality of it. What if we had 30 students per district and a team of 10 per district, by all means, I think we could certainly do that. But it's really, really challenging. I'm thinking, you know, some of the districts in Indiana, some of the districts in, sorry, Libby, Southern Illinois, you know, that are struggling to keep the program open, let alone build the rebound section. I don't know.
So
can I step off? Matt, can I real quick?
Yeah.
So
So my name is Megan Skelly. I've been around Central States for a really long time, but I've really only been in the chair role, doing chair things and dealing with chair issues and concerns for the last couple of years, because that's just it. We took a whole nother year post-COVID off. And for those of you who go to NAIN, you may see other multi-districts who don't interact like this, like we do at all. And then you see another multi-district just to our immediate west that I like to call the board, that does a ton of collaboration. And so it has been because I run the summer conference, or I have a team, but I'm responsible for the summer conference.
And you're amazing at it.
And I was not looking for that. All I'm saying is that we have each other. I have been on a mission to make sure that we can support each other. And I just had like a light bulb go off when Alita said, and Hannah too, like, how many of you have a map of Central States Rotary Youth Exchange districts in your head? Like, how many of you know when I say I'm from 6420, that you know where I'm at? That's it. I'm not out here to like tell anybody that you need to start learning your map. But because of my role, I have a map. I know where all of you live. I'm not kidding. Maybe not all of you, but for the most part, I do know where you live, and I know where your district boundaries are. So if I had a kid going to college at the University of Illinois, I would know to call Doug Schlong. And so I'm not saying you all need to be that savvy, but the map is available. And you certainly could connect those kids that are going off to U of I, or going to UW-Madison, or going to a smaller college. Michigan. I'm in Illini, so sorry. But if you're headed, we could be helping each other. We could be getting resources. Just because you've got a kid that was your rebound doesn't mean if he's going to University of Toronto that he couldn't connect with Kirk. Just a light bulb went off. So there's my story.
I'm just gonna say that I think by and large, all of our kids recognize themselves as a member of Central States. So they know that network's out there, and they've been to Grand Rapids. We had our.
How do we keep connecting them?
Right, but they can identify.
Something we need to put on our program to make sure that the kids, when they come back at Grand Rapids, they know that they're not just a rebound from Megan's district or Chris's district. They're a Central States rebound, and they can connect to any of us. I mean, we use our rebounds a lot. And if somebody was to come to me and say, hey, I'm from Megan's district, can I come, because I'm now real close to you, can I come and be part of your program? That would be fabulous. I don't really care if my rebound is from my district or not. And now our district is teamed up with two of the other cross-border districts to get that, where'd you go? Economy of scale. So our training programs now have a much larger group of people to work with, because we're 3 districts, not 1. So I'm just going to leave through it. Okay, we got one question at the back.
I just wanted to speak also to the idea of scale and like resources, because I'm not sorry, I can't tell who asked this question, but you were saying when you only have like 2 committee members and they're really dedicated to your inbounds and your outbounds, because that takes up so much of your time. You can tap into your Rotex, like kids who have been home for 2 or 3 years. I was at the summer conference. There was some Rotex specific programming, and it was a group of like, I think 15 or 20 students who are in their early 20s. They've been home for 2 or 3 years, and they are keen. They are eager. And if you didn't bring your Rotex to this to summer conference, that doesn't mean they're not keen. So I think if you're able to connect with these kids who went out 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, for me, they are keen to continue with this program. You don't have to try and say like, our inbound and outbound coordinators don't have time to also deal with rebounds. You can tap somebody else to join this committee. And I know that's difficult in some places, but I I literally have been on our committee for I think 2 years, year and a half now. And I'm super keen to continue working with these rebounds. But I also know that because I've been working with these rebounds and working with the Rotex, that there is Rotex who want to step into my role in future. And it's hard. But these kids want to do it. They want to do the work. They want to connect with each other. They want to be in charge of rebounds. They want to help each other. We send really incredible kids around the world, and they don't stop being incredible when they get home.
A few years ago at Grand Rapids, we used to do a lot more with the rebounds. And then all of a sudden, we didn't want to do it anymore. And the rebounds were kind of pushed aside. Is that going to change? Are we going to recognize the rebounds again because we stopped?
So I can speak to that. So I'm the program chair for the summer conference. So I'm going to correct a little bit and say we didn't shove them aside. I don't know why that's being seen that way, but first of all, to answer the question, yes, they're very much involved. In fact, on the programming committee.
We used to have the big one, they go across and the whole bit, then we put them in the chapel, and then we just kind of, it went away.
Well, the program was shut down for 2 years.
No, you're talking about something that I have no clue about, and I've been the chair since 2019.
So I'll just speak to what we're doing in the future. Let's not worry about what it was.
Yeah.
What we're doing this year is we actually, first of all, have a Rotex member who is on the programming committee so that we have sort of a voice to speak for like, what do Rotex want to do? How do they want to be involved? Exactly what role do they want to play? And part of that is looking at also the rebound component of it. So ultimately, to answer your question, every stream has basically a full agenda. The rebounds do get a little bit more free time than most, than for example, the inbounds or the outbounds. Part of that simply because they want time to catch up with each other. They want time, informal, facilitated time to just connect. So if it feels like you're doing less, part of that's on purpose because they do want a bit more just chill time. But there is still what I would consider a very strong rebound program that has them doing things that are both meaningful to helping the outbounds and inbounds, but are also then getting a chance to process and talk about their experiences and how they're dealing with that. So that's what's going on this year and in future years anyway.
So I have two quick things that I thought of. One, when Megan was talking about connecting our students going off to college within Central States, could we take that a step further to 9? Because I've got kids that go, all of us do have kids that go out of our Central States group to go to college. So I don't know if there's some way 9, we could have, I don't know, self-reporting, something to track the students among 9. And then the second thought was getting together with another district to do your rebound retreat. So like we get together with another district to do our outbound orientation because we have so few students right now going outbound. So maybe a neighboring district, we could get together and do it to increase your numbers.
Yeah, great.
So Beth, I've used the YO directory that RI provides to connect with district chairs outside of Central States to connect students. So I have a student who was going to Texas and wanted to find the program in Texas. So I found which district he was going to and gave him the email of the chair there. So there is a directory for RI. It's called the YO directory, but it's the district chairs for every district that is active in youth exchange. So that is a great resource to connect students to other districts outside of our group.
And additionally, it shows multi-district they're part of, if they are part of a multi-district. Like it says Megan Skelly, District 6420, and then it says I'm part of Central States. So that directory can be really handy for all of us.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make a really quick announcement before you wrap up. Some of you have already discovered that there's coffee and treats over here. So just a couple things, coffee is running out and we've already ordered new coffee. So if you get to the coffee and it's gone, just wait a few minutes. Oh, it just came, good. Second, the donuts and sweet stuff is really big. So you might want to cut it in half. I just had to cut one in half. There's also yogurts and there's also some energy bars. So it's not just high carb donuts over there. So I would invite you to, try the other healthy foods that are over there. And there's also, and there's also, it's a health thing. There's also water and tea over there too.
Okay. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for dealing it out. That was wonderful. All right. So, yeah, I think we're going to take how long a break there, Kirk? We're going to take a 10-minute break. So don't stampede the sweet treats because I need to get there first.